We the people unite.
Hey everybody, welcome. It is We the People Unite Wednesday. How's everybody? How is everybody doing?
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Alive.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody okay? Hanging in there? Yeah. There is a lot going on. So if you're in the chat, please let us know you are here. You know how much we love to converse with you. We love hearing what you're thinking. So, yikes. Us gals from California are not happy, to say the least. So that's going to be our first segment for tonight. So we're really asking, I think, a simple question, but doesn't seem to have a simple answer. Why do allegations end some political careers while others seem to not just survive them, but actually thrive and rise, like the president? So during Trump's first presidential run, there were accusations. Right? Andrea, you brought it up, the Hollywood Access Hollywood tapes, right?
Well,
and those accusations were out there. They were part of the conversation already, and voters still sent him to the White House. And since then, he was civilly found liable, right? And he...
When was the E. Jean Carroll case?
That was civilly, yeah, he was found civilly liable for, it wasn't sexual assault.
It was.
But it was, I don't think it was sexual assault. Well, some people say it was the R word.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But it was considered, it wasn't technically what we think of it as, but what he did was...
I mean, he still owes her all that money. He never paid any of it. So
yeah.
It's like,
right.
It's almost 90 million or something.
Well, and then, yeah, not to mention the Epstein files, right? So let's keep those front and center. So now we have Eric Swalwell, who's a rep. California enters the governor's race and allegations emerge and his campaign ends. So to me, it's a very similar political moment, but it ended very differently. And we've had other Democrats who have been accused of misbehavior in some way, shape, or form and have been dismissed the same way or have been forced to resign. So why, not just a double standard, why the hypocrisy? Is it the media coverage? Is it political loyalty? I don't know. Is it something deeper? How we as the public...
Is it more wealth on the Republican side?
It's a lack of morality.
But but on the Democratic side, whether they're moral or immoral, is not tolerated on the Democratic side.
That's what I mean. It's a lack of morality in those people that will continue to support someone who has been found guilty of something like that. Or even, I mean, the Democrats will let people loose if it's just an allegation. They're like, cut bait, let's investigate it, let's find out what happened. Evidence. But no, we're not going to deal with this right now. Because if it did happen, we don't want that person in a place of power. Whereas
we don't.
On the other side, it seems to just be, doesn't matter, throw your hands up.
The accountability is not the same. And we have all said, if he's guilty, if he's done those things, he needs to be held accountable. I don't care which side you're on, right? You are held accountable. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Then we're going to look at how this impacts California governor's race, because it's looking kind of grim right now. And there's a
for the Democrats
of people. Well, there's a long list of people who are in the race. We don't hear about most of them. And then after we talk about that, we really need to focus in on Trump's mental health and fitness for office and what top psychiatrists are actually warning, sounding the alarm and sounding it loudly. And then we want to talk about the big shift that happened in Hungary. Yay. All right. So we got a few things to talk about. So let's start with a little bit. Oh well. Look at this laundry list.
Can't hear you.
Your sound's going in and out.
Oh, sorry. I got my mic right here. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Swalwell resigned his seat in Congress today before he could be expelled. His departure comes as a fifth woman comes forward with allegations of sexual assault. She is the first accuser now to speak out publicly, giving a graphic account of her alleged assault in a West Hollywood hotel room.
KTLA's John Fenolio live in the news center with more on the political scandal that is now a criminal investigation. John.
Sandra, Micah, just yesterday, Swalwell announced he was resigning from Congress. Days earlier, he suspended his campaign for California governor. Today, less than 2 hours after the latest accuser spoke out publicly in Beverly Hills, Swalwell made his resignation official. A warning here, this report contains details of sexual assault and may be disturbing to some viewers.
He raped me, and he choked me.
Tonight, new shocking sexual assault allegations against Bay Area Democrat Eric Swalwell.
And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity.
Lana Drews is the fifth woman to speak out against the now former congressman, alleging a horrific encounter in a West Hollywood hotel room in 2018, where she believes Swalwell drugged her drink before attending a political event.
I only had one glass of wine. He said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated and I couldn't move my arms or my body.
A former software company owner with political ambitions, Drews says she met Swalwell socially, and he offered to help her with his Silicon Valley and political connections before the alleged incident. She says she didn't report the alleged rape at the time because she feared Swalwell's political power and ties to law enforcement. But shortly after speaking out Tuesday,
I plan to resign my seat in Congress effective at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on April 14th, 2026.
Swalwell officially resigned from Congress. His letter read from the House floor. The move coming as he faced a House Ethics Committee investigation and potential expulsion. On Sunday, he suspended his campaign for California governor. The San Francisco Chronicle and CNN report at least 4 other women have accused Swalwell of sexual misconduct, including a former staffer who alleged rape in 2019 and 2024. Swalwell denies all of the allegations.
They did not happen. They have never happened.
These allegations are false. It's just no coincidence that this is now being done as a political hit job on the eve of, a governor run in California where he was leading the race.
The LA County Sheriff's Department confirms it has launched a criminal investigation into the 2018 allegations of sexual assault in West Hollywood. In a separate case, the Manhattan District Attorney says his office is investigating a sexual assault allegation from 2024. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom announced a special election will be held on August 18th to fill Swalwell's vacated House seat. In the News Center, I'm John Fenolio. Sandra, Micah, back.
Oh, jeez.
I know. I always believe women. But he was in Congress for all this time, and you said nothing, and now he running for governor, and you have something to say.
Yeah.
It just seems strange. All along they've been telling you what Trump did or has done, and they were minors, and that's even worse.
Hey, Marley.
Hey, Marley.
Yeah, the timing of it is, and I wrote down the minute she made those allegations. It's like, those were serious. Why did you not go to the police?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like
serious allegations.
However, you guys got to remember too, sexual assault happens a lot in this world, and it depends on the woman, depends on the circumstance, it depends on the pressures around them. if he has that type of power, I can see that being a thing. Yes, the timing's not great, but we also have to take into account what the evidence is, and what's going to be presented. But, each woman's different. We
And he won't
internalize
still
things
have,
so much differently.
he won't still have that same power as a governor. I mean, or in Congress you got power. As governor you have powers.
He'll have more. He would have more
He
power
had
though.
power.
More powers.
He would have more powers though, and that could make him even more dangerous. And to back up also what Laurie said, trauma doesn't necessarily like have a timeline where
and I understand that, but still I'm saying I would have had to say to Congress. I mean, look, Donald Trump, the president, that's not power.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm trying to say is
let Katie finish.
Women, I know from personal experience, like you can block it out. Your mind will block it out for years. And there will be something that will trigger it and make you go, wait a minute, oh my God, like that, oh my God. Or you'll hear another person's story. Like we also don't know what these women's lawyers have told them to do and how long they had the lawyers and like what the other women's stories are. So there are a lot of factors behind the scenes. And it's like, yes, this is ill timing because of all of the awful things. And it sucks because I liked him too.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when he would go head to head in Congress with like Bandy and Patel and Noam. But as soon as all this came out, it just canceled it.
On Access Hollywood, he came out and said, I grab him by the PU, and he said, and I just walk up to him and just kiss him. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, my only point is, and I understand what you're saying, that women come out at different times. I'm saying Trump admitted that he knew he was no good.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But the thing is his voters are dumbasses. Just saying.
And
they don't care.
Hillary
don't care. They don't. They clearly don't care.
When Hillary Clinton said that about him.
Yep. Women are property with a lot of these men. They think that they control them. They think that, no matter what I do, I make the money and I can do whatever I say I can do. And they abuse them mentally, emotionally, physically. It could be one or all, and they're just broken down over and over and over again. And that's the power that these men have. And we need to break that cycle.
And I bet you anything that those women that, like worked for him and stuff went to work for him to try to get ahead in their lives and try to say like, hey, you've got connections, let's do this. And he probably got a kick out of the power of it and being like, cool, so now I can basically do whatever I want to you and you'll listen to me.
They went up against Weinstein. They went up against Bill Cosby, and then for some reason we let crazy ass, because he crazy. His ass is
well.
crazy.
I think Bill Cosby is a good point, because a lot of people ask when the Bill Cosby allegations come out, why are they coming out now? It's been 30 years. It's been 20 years. It's been 25 years. It does not matter. What happened. And when one woman comes out, it makes other women feel comfortable to come out. It also, to Katie's point, it jogs their memories.
It's
it
not
makes them think about.
I'm not really questioning.
I just want to finish.
But I want to.
One at a time. Wait, let's let Keisha finish.
I'm not saying that
why they take so
questioning it.
long.
I'm
It's
saying a
more
lot of
as
people have questioned this. A lot of people have said, why is it coming out now? And the fact of the matter is, when one woman comes out, sometimes it jogs other women's memories. Sometimes it makes them think of a situation in a different way, because they didn't think what happened to them was sexual assault until someone else said it. And they're like, oh my God.
Exactly.
I think what I'm saying is, what angers me is the other people are not being held accountable. It's not that they came out. So, it bothers me that Trump has not been held accountable. And other people, and look at what's his name, 2 days and he was out. I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't have been out before. He should have never did what he did. But Trump is actually destroying the country. I'm actually afraid for our life because of the things he's done over in Iran.
Yeah.
So if you were in California, would you vote for Swalwell?
Oh, I know I wouldn't, but I didn't vote for Trump.
Yeah, I was just trying to.
Yeah, I would
no.
I didn't know.
I wouldn't have voted for Jim Jordan either.
No, before this came out, Swalwell was in the lead.
Yeah.
Potentially, and my son-in-law was on his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So his staffers are obviously extremely upset by this.
And also look how quickly Jimmy Gomez was his campaign manager, and he noped right out of that too. He left.
Here's what I will not do. As an SA survivor myself, I will never question the timing or the motives of any woman, because it took me darn near 40 years before I told anybody about what happened to me.
Yeah.
But what I also will not do is I will not ascribe characteristics and motivations behind Eric Swalwell either, because we don't know what was in his head. We don't know what was motivating him. We don't know that he got off on something like this. So my thing is, I would never vote for someone like that. Even if there was a doubt in my mind, he would not have my vote. But what I will do is wait for all the investigations and everything to go to the end before I say that man is Satan.
Yeah, evidence.
Well, we are already saying Trump is Satan.
No, we're not.
That's what I don't get that part. That's the part I don't get, is why Trump. I understand what's happening with Swalwell. I don't understand why Trump is still in office.
Because his supporters don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's
trying to make something be illogical that's illogical.
It's a cult too.
It's a cult.
They're all drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And that's what's the scariest.
And you're talking about people who excuse the worst of the worst things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
who see people separated from their families and deported, and see children deported, and see children abused, and they find all kinds of ways to excuse it. These people are morally bereft.
Yeah.
So they hold their candidates and their representatives to a different standard than the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting, but they sure went after Clinton when he got his little, BJ in
and
the
that was
Oval
consensual.
Office.
Yeah, and that was consensual.
Yeah.
Yep. Impeached and everything.
Yeah. Let's listen to some of the comments. So Jazzy, I think too many people get attached to people we see on TV. 100%. At the end of the day, we really don't know these people. Again, 100%. We don't know the full story, so it's best to just view it as outside looking in. Swalwell deserves his day in court before he's tried, convicted, and hung in the court of public opinion. So everybody deserves that. However, Trump was civilly found liable.
Yes.
Well, not only was he found civilly for SA for lying about his financial records, everything about him is a lie, and everybody keeps saying, I work for him and he never paid me. And I'm still hearing stories today now that from January of this is 2025, he has amassed a fortune of $6.5 billion on us.
Correct.
Yep. And no one's called him out on it. They said it's okay.
Nobody's saying nothing.
And that's part of his pathology that we're going to go into.
And
later.
I don't know. I mean, why are they so scared? I mean, I don't know. That's what I guess, like you saying, Marley, I'm trying to make sense of stuff that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Mike made a good point. He said it's not necessarily his supporters that are keeping him in office. It's the billionaires who are making all this money.
Yes.
His supporters will twist themselves into knots. trying to explain the things that he does.
Yeah.
It makes them feel better about themselves that they support him. So they have to figure out a way to justify everything that he does or dismiss everything that he does. But the people that are keeping him in power are the people that are making money from this presidency.
True.
I never
And
thought it would.
worst administration ever too. All presidents have strong people in their administration and they listen to them. But when you look at what Trump has put together, he knew exactly what he was doing with that because he wants yes people totally around him. At least that's my take on how he's surviving a lot of this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 100%, Jazzy. I mean, Trump's on audio recording saying some of the vilest things.
Yeah.
And the man still got elected because he was on TV, because he was the guy in Apprentice, because he was a made up character that wasn't real. And people bought into it.
And he was a jerk then on Apprentice. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Never will.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about that because it's scarier than I think we think.
And
So
just so
where
you
does-
know,
Go ahead.
I am very ashamed that I actually liked The Apprentice, but it got really stupid when they got to the celebrity one. But, you know, after knowing him, what he's been doing now in the last 10 years, you know, I regret that was a huge waste of my time.
Yes, I understand.
Huge
I
waste.
agree.
And I
watched-
regret it.
watched
And that would be
it
one
too.
of the things I will regret to my grave.
No, we were lied to, you know,
Yes,
that he was this
absolutely.
great business person and he, you know, they created him.
Now that's what I feel. I feel like they created him just because he knew he was a low down dog, and they said, okay, this would be the best person put in this position.
Yeah, and we
Oh,
do.
yeah,
We
he's being
worship
used for
celebrity.
sure.
Yeah, I think too.
Unfortunately.
I think
Go
too,
ahead.
when it comes to like the billionaire class and everything, it all goes back to Epstein. I
And then
really,
when I go to
I really think that, and it's not really the Epstein files; it's the Trump files, because he has so much crap on all of these people that they will do whatever he says.
And here we go to the gas station, and it cost me $30 for half a tank of gas now. And I'm glad I'm not in California or New York. And then you go to the grocery store, and you like everything is $6.99 and up. Everything is $6.99 and up.
Wow.
But nobody has gotten an increase in pay. If anything, he's asking you to take it. Oh, just deal with it. Deal with it.
No, people are losing their jobs. It cost me $60 for
Yeah.
half a tank
Yeah, I
of
was just gonna
mine.
say that. Yeah.
It's
People are losing their homes. They losing their home.
Right.
Bankruptcy is the highest it's ever been in history, and foreclosures are at their highest rates in history. And yet, these billionaires, I would be shamed. I hope they're gonna bust hell wide open.
Yeah, I agree, Army Vet. Where's our contract? Where's our? We're in this reality TV show. Where is it?
Yeah, we can't get out of it either.
No, that's stuck in hell.
That's the
So
sad
where does
part.
that leave California? So I just wanted to pull up this list. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger for y'all. We have, unfortunately, a laundry list of people running
Oh
for
my God.
governor of California.
I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, I didn't either. I looked at it and I went, holy shite.
I don't even know who any of these. Yeah.
This is not, but there's, some of the major players, right? Antonio Villaraigosa. So he was a former LA
He's
mayor.
running again.
I don't like him.
No,
I'm not
absolutely
voting for
not.
him. I don't
Tom
like him.
Steyer is
No, we don't care for him.
we don't care for him too much. Katie Porter.
Yeah, mate. I'm leaning towards her.
I don't like her.
I don't either, but
What
Well,
about
Villaraigosa was the
Xavier
worst.
Becerra? He was our former AG, and he was Health and Human Services under Biden. under Biden.
I was gonna do a deeper dive on him because the mayor
Yeah.
of LA is actually endorsing him, and I like the mayor of LA. I was gonna do a deeper dive on him, but Steyer, I just don't trust him. He's made money off of private prisons. And Katie Porter, I saw a few interviews with her, and she just seems like a really nasty woman. I don't like.
There was some baggage that came out, not to, or how she treated her staff.
Yeah.
So
she was great in Congress, though.
Yeah,
I loved her.
Yeah,
with
I really
her
liked her.
nations and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
when I saw that.
So was Eric Swalwell.
I mean, an essay, but
Right.
possible.
I'm going to say something.
Let Marley finish first.
Oh,
Hang on.
sorry.
Let Marley finish. Go ahead, Marley.
I mean, I think she's the more popular, and if the only thing against her is the fact that she's not somebody you want to be around, but she can get stuff done, she's getting my vote. Because a lot of people say the same thing about Hillary.
Exactly.
They said there was rumors about Kamala, so I don't know. If that's her only problem, I'll lean towards her instead of someone who has been accused of essay.
And how often does that get said about men? How often do we hear about men being terrible managers?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Maureen, back to you, dear.
Well, I would vote for her too, Marley. I mean, no way do I want a Republican getting into California. But this, I know this is probably not going to happen, but wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get Kamala?
Oh my God, yes.
Run for
I wish.
her.
I wish.
I wish those Democrats would come together and encourage her, but I know that's not a reality.
I just saw a recent kind of poll. She's down below the 50s in presidential potential. With Newsom on top.
What?
I don't know.
We need a woman.
We do. But right
This
now
is ridiculous.
we need to get rid of Trump first.
Yeah. But it's
And
ridiculous.
that's the first priority. And then and then we
And
clean up.
so-
I just highlighted this Chad Bianco guy. This is the sheriff who confiscated all the ballots in Riverside County. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, this
The
is a
court got him.
Republican candidate. The problem
Angry
is
argument.
this field needs to narrow and narrow quickly.
Yes.
Because it's the top two on the ballot in the primary. It's not one Democrat, one Republican.
And this is in November.
The
primaries
the
are in
primaries in
Oh, the
June.
primaries in June.
It's coming up. Yeah.
Primaries in June. So we all need to do our homework and yeah, whoever the Democratic candidate is gets my vote.
Oh yeah.
So let's I
Should
know
do
that
a
my
deep dive on just Democrats and everybody take a few and pass it around to so
Yeah.
my son-in-law mentioned Katie. So
Oh yeah. I
don't
Yeah.
I don't know if she can get the votes. That's my
August. They said women are emotional, but I think sometimes you need emotions in this world. I don't need no emotionalist man.
We need empathy.
Emotion.
We need empathy because we haven't had that.
No.
Compassion.
Humanity. Just flat out basic humanity would be
Most
nice.
of us would still be married if they had some emotions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has emotions. They're none of them are good.
No, not the one we want. Hey, August.
Okay, hi August, welcome. Okay, so yeah, we got a cycle. We do, Jazzy. We're gonna talk about the 5-alarm fires that are being rung, or the alarms that are.
I wish I had the opportunity to tell them how I felt, just to tell them leave. You're in the country.
Yeah, Tupac would definitely get my vote.
No, yeah.
Let's just listen.
His mother would be good too.
Yeah. So that's kind of the bad news. We do have some good news. We all heard the great news that Orban was defeated. And this is huge. People need this. This is This is the country that had gone through hell for, what was it, 12, 14 years?
16.
Oh, 16 years.
16 years.
This is what they were under for 16 years, and they finally said, enough. Let's make that happen sooner that we get rid of ours and not wait 16 years. But we know that this administration has followed the Orban playbook.
Yes.
So let's listen to Rachel. Yeah, exactly. From Rachel a little bit on this.
You are a small country. You're very proud, very important country, but you are little and you are not very rich. And you decide in your little country that it is time to put in streetlights. Right? You think we may not be a wealthy country, but gosh darn it, it is the 21st century. And in a bunch of our little towns and villages that want them, we're going to put in streetlights, or we're going to upgrade streetlights in places that need them to be fixed up. We're going to get funding, we'll get grants for streetlights, and we're going to do that all over the place in our country. Now, if you are a town that wants in on this project, if you want some streetlights for your town, what your government tells you is, okay, here's how you're going to do it. Your town, your village, if you want streetlights, what you have to do is you have to hire this particular company. And it's a consulting company, and that consulting company will assess your town's needs. And after they do an assessment in your town, they will basically attest to what kind of streetlights you need, and then those are the kind of streetlights you will get. That's the process. That's how we're getting streetlights in our country. And it turns out that as all the little towns all over the country start going through this process to get their streetlights, they all, as they are told to do, they all hire this one company, this one consulting firm to help them get their streetlights. And a couple of things pretty quickly emerge. First of all, that company, the company they're all told they have to use in order to get their streetlights, that company turns out to be owned by a guy who's in business with the Prime Minister's son-in-law. And the business he's in with the Prime Minister's son-in-law, the company they own together, turns out to be a company that makes streetlights. Huh. What a coincidence, right? So every little town all over your country has to hire this one company. And every single time, the guy who runs that company comes in, looks around and says, yes, I've looked at this very carefully. I've assessed your unique needs here in your town. And it turns out the only streetlights you should get, the only streetlights you can get, the streetlights, in fact, that you're going to get are the streetlights that are only sold by the company that is owned by the Prime Minister's son-in-law and also me. That is your only choice. You want streetlights, that's how you get them.
I love Rachel.
And even though these guys had no streetlight expertise, even though their company was brand new, essentially set up just for this purpose, even though basically nobody else had ever bought streetlights from them before without being forced to do so, now all of a sudden, boy, do they have a lot of business. Yeah, the Prime Minister's son-in-law turns out to be basically the sole supplier of streetlights to towns and villages all over the country.
No.
And as such, he is paid very handsomely for that in public funds.
Of course.
Elon Musk.
The country where this happened happens to be in Europe. And it turns out the funding for the streetlights came from the European Union, from the EU. When investigative reporters figured out that this scheme was happening with the streetlights, and when the EU investigated themselves, they realized this well-intentioned project, sort of small-scale project to put streetlights in this poor country, had instead become basically just a project to make the Prime Minister's son-in-law a millionaire. The company, of course, says they did nothing wrong, but the EU pulled their funding for that project. How did the Prime Minister react to that? He said, well, okay, I guess we can't do this with EU funds anymore. We'll just pay for it ourselves, our country, out of our meager budget as one of the poorest countries in Europe. We'll pay for it, which means the Prime Minister decided that he would just pay his son-in-law directly from government funds.
Because it was his
And that is
idea
how
to begin
Viktor
with.
Orban's son-in-law made his first millions.
Oh my
Since
God.
then, over the course of Viktor Orban's 16 years in power, Orban's son-in-law has become one of the wealthiest men in the whole country, worth hundreds of millions of dollars at least. One of the sectors he's in is streetlights. Another
Sounds like
sector
Trump.
is that he owns
Yeah.
lots of luxury hotels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Trump.
There
I
it
mentioned
is.
the EU, the European Union. The EU has a presidency that rotates from country to country every 6 months. When the EU presidency automatically rotated to Hungary, to Viktor Orban a couple of years ago, what that meant in very practical terms is that there would be lots of official delegations from other European countries coming to Hungary all the time, coming to Budapest to do EU business. Because
oh God, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Right.
Does that sound familiar?
No wonder they're friends.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, so let's.
But ahead of the elections yesterday in Hungary, which saw that young man's father-in-law turfed out of power after 16 years and potentially now facing prosecution for corruption and theft of public assets. Ahead of yesterday's election in Hungary, Orban's son-in-law left the country.
Of course he
left
did.
Hungary and reportedly relocated to the friendlier environs of United
New
States.
York City.
I am terrible with Hungarian names.
I thought you'd enjoy
so
that.
I don't know exactly how to pronounce the son-in-law's name. You can see it there.
Istvan.
It's spelled Istvan, Tiborcz. I don't know exactly how you say that
Istvan
name, but I think
Tiborcz.
that it's pronounced
I think it's Istvan
Jared. Jared.
Pronounce it.
That's not true. But
That's
that is one way
funny.
to pronounce it.
That is.
Istvan. Jared.
Jared.
Okay, I just thought that was a little bit of a funny.
I love Rachel.
Jared.
Yeah, I thought that
Nice.
that was interesting. But this more on a serious. I mean, that is serious because that's exactly what's happening here. And I just read recently that the Sons back a company that's selling
Drones.
war drones and stuff. Yeah,
That's right. Mhm.
So it's we know what's happening here. And where did he learn it from?
Why hasn't he been deported yet?
He's probably hiding somewhere in Trump Tower.
Probably.
So I love this because Hungary's new prime minister just showed us what courage looks like. And the question is, whoops, where's ours? I did that on the wrong screen. I just want to pull this up a little bit. Where's ours? A few weeks ago, this is from Adam Kinzinger. A few weeks ago, I wrote a piece laying out what the next president needs to do from the moment they take office, right? Methodical, principled, unwinding of the institutional damage that Trump has done. The response was overwhelming, and I've been thinking about it ever since. So he goes down, or he goes to say, Hungary just elected a new prime minister. His name is Peter Magyar. And if you haven't been paying attention to what's happening in Budapest, you should be, because it's a masterclass in what courage looks like the morning after you win. So he didn't waste a single hour. On day one, he announced he was suspending state media news operations, shuttering the propaganda apparatus that Orban had spent 16 years weaponizing against his people. He called on Hungary's president, the heads of the country's two highest courts, the chief prosecutor, and the leaders of its audits and media authorities to resign. He called them what they were, puppets. And he said it out loud on camera in public before the balloons had even been swept off the floor. I love this. He vowed to pursue everyone who had plundered Hungary. He recommitted his country to Europe and to the truth. I watched all of this and I thought, that's what it looks like when someone actually means it. So this is what we will need to see. This is beautiful. And since the Trump administration has followed the Orban plan to the letter, then we're going to follow the new prime minister's plan to the letter when we take over. fire everybody.
See, that's the thing though that I'm like most afraid of is if we do, yay, we get a Dem back in. What, like they have to do the after Orban plan. Like we can't just have them have with Biden with his DOJ just sit back and do nothing. We cannot have that because then history is going to repeat itself.
Correct. Other thoughts?
Yes, the fact that almost 80% of the electorate came out to vote, I think is very important.
It's huge.
And that's what we need to have in November and in 2028 if we're going to win and take back all three branches of government, is we need everyone to come out and vote, and they need to vote for the right people. If you plan on voting for maggots or a continuation of this administration, sit your ass at home. Everyone else come out and vote.
Well, and that's huge because it took 80% because Orban had these elections rigged.
Exactly. And that's why we need everybody come out.
Yeah,
And
but you want to vote red.
And if you watch, Trump went around the whole world and visited all of the authoritarians. He went and visited every one of them and said, how you do this? Every one of them he went to.
Too big to rig.
Mm-hmm.
And they've all made a ton of money. Yeah.
And the other thing I think is notable is you have to think Viktor Orban was in power for 16 years. There are people who voted who this is all they've known is this kind of leader as president of their country. And they were like, fuck this. No, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to the young people.
The younger people say that, they've kind of given up on all the people we have running for office, but as long as they stay at home and give up, we're not going to win.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Mo said it best. We have to save ourselves. There's no one coming on a white horse to rescue us.
That's hubby, not me.
We also have to give people someone inspiring to vote for. Like we saw what happened in New York City when Mondani ran. He activated young people. He activated people across generations, but he activated younger people to campaign for him and to talk to their parents and their grandparents and get them to vote for Mondani. So we need to get people who are actually excite people. That's what happened with Obama. You get people who are exciting and inspiring, people will come out and vote. We cannot put up milquetoast candidates that people are just like, okay, I guess,
Same old same.
Yeah.
Well, but the worst of two evil thing,
Well, and that's why I say it's going to take someone who's not an ideologue on either side. It's going to take someone who just speaks directly to the people, regardless of your political party or your political affiliation. We need someone who is going to talk directly to the people, because everyone is suffering right now.
Yeah,
everyone is.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like the people that are doing that is like AOC, Bernie Sanders, and when it comes down to the establishment of the two parties, they're like, oh no, they're too progressive, they're too out there. You know what? That's what we need. We need these people. We need them to be leaders. I don't care if she's younger than me. I don't care that Bernie is much older than me. But they've lived by when they have been in Congress and the Senate is what matters to me, and they have not deviated from that.
I was going to say they've both been consistent, and I've even been hearing, I forget what I was watching, but somebody was saying that actually the Republicans behind closed doors like AOC because she's easy for them.
Yeah.
She's not difficult to work with.
She's good to work with. I've read that same thing.
Yeah, because she wants what's best. She wants what's best for the country. Not
well. The Republicans like a lot of things behind closed doors.
Does Mondani have any brothers?
That's why Grindr's always crashing.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to add is I saw on Threads several people say, looking at the celebrations in Hungary. Imagine if this was us. Imagine if this was us. This was us in 2020, people. What short memories do you have? When Katie talked about we need to make sure that when we get Democrats in office that we punish people so that we don't repeat this, we also need to not have the memories of Nats. So that when 2032 comes along, we don't say, well, we had a good 4 years. It's not good enough. The economy's not where I want it. So let's vote another Republican in for 2032 and start this mess all over again. Like, remember where we were and where we want to be so that we don't in 4 years do the same bullshit all over again.
Yep. And this is why I say we need to have trials, public trials, to punish all of these people.
Yes.
So that people can see that there's going to be a punishment. If this behavior, returns, there's going to be punishment. There's going to be consequences. And let's just hope that people are burdened enough, I guess I should say, this time around, that they won't have the memory of a Nat, and they will, take that in and continue the progress in 32 and beyond.
Yeah.
What's the point of having checks and balances when the checks not doing anything, balance is not doing anything? What's the point?
And it should be illegal to go around the country and offer people $1 million to vote for Trump.
And you should be removed from office if you do not honor your oath. And if you pretty much shit all over the Constitution. So that's immediate removal in my mind.
Well, he didn't put his hand on the Bible when he was being sworn in.
He doesn't believe in the Bible anyway.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that was your first clue that he wasn't going to do anything right.
Yeah, those news stories are just coming out, but I remember watching him get sworn in. I said, his hand is not on the Bible.
I watched
January 21st.
We all noticed.
I saw it.
I was more focused on Mayor McCheese behind him. Or whoever.
Who was that?
Melania.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this topic because it's extremely important. And I think it really outlines the environment that we are in, because we are not dealing with a sane individual. And that comes from the psychiatrists. So I'm not sure if people are aware of Dr. Bandy X. She was part of a group of psychiatrists who put together the documentary of Duty to Warn, and who wrote the book, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. And I noticed recently that she's been coming up in my emails and on Substack a lot lately. And she is sounding the alarm. And this is, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this one is a letter to Senate and House Majority and Minority Leaders pleading that Donald Trump must be removed from access to nuclear weapons and from military power. They have, and there is that, I forget, I talked about it, the rule, the Goldwater rule, where psychiatrists are not technically supposed to diagnose. However, there has been enough information and enough evidence that they have said that this man, not only a malignant narcissist, but an actual psychopath. And they have predicted what this man would do if he regained access to the Oval Office and to the power of the presidency. So this here, and I'll put the links in the description, I highly suggest you go read this, because she's saying, I write to you today with a sense of urgency that we do not use lightly. The behavior and the rhetoric of this president has crossed a threshold that demands immediate and bipartisan attention of Congress. So that's one letter, because we're going to hear from her, actually. But I wanted to show you what she's been not frantically, but she's been putting out a lot lately. So that was letter to the Senate. She has another one. Let me put this one up. Urgent warning to congressional leaders. This was actually today. Also, Rep. Jamie Raskin's new bill for a commission on presidential capacity. Why didn't we already have, we've never had nut jobs in the White House, I guess. So here, Jamie Raskin introduced a new bill to Congress to establish the Commission on Presidential Capacity to discharge the powers and duties of the office. For other purposes, it states the commission shall carry out a medical examination of the president to determine whether the president is mentally or physically unable to discharge the powers and duties of office. If the commission finds that the president is temporarily or permanently impaired by any of the following conditions, to the extent that person lacks sufficient understanding or capacity to execute the powers of the duties, he goes on, physical illness, mental illness, they're going to appoint this bipartisan, basically they're going to remove him. So this is,
they already see it.
This is to get past the whole impeachment thing, right? But I want you to listen to Dr. Bandy Lee and what she has to say here. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's scary. Okay.
For those of you who are new, I'm Dr. Bandy Lee, forensic and social psychiatrist and editor of The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, a compendium that would eventually include the assessment of 50 psychiatrists and other mental health experts. The current global situation is extraordinarily dangerous because of severe psychiatric instability in leaders, especially Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. This is not primarily a political crisis, but a medical emergency with potentially catastrophic consequences, risking even the extinction of our species in the case of nuclear war. Since 2017, psychiatrists and other mental health experts warned against these risks, but we were silenced. In 2019, as a service to the public, we assembled an independent panel of top mental health professionals and did a standard mental capacity evaluation on Donald Trump, which revealed the alarming result that he is not only mentally unfit for the presidency, but virtually for any job. Because of this, we were able to predict the exact disordered decision-making pattern we are witnessing today. We also warned that his disordered thinking could spread socially through emotional bonds, even our mass media and social media environment. This quickly turned into a mental health pandemic in which a large portion of the population has loosened in its relationship to reality, sometimes called shared psychosis or collective psychosis. We also warned that institutions would be weakened since the prerequisite for any rational system working is mental capacity. Now, we see that even some of the strongest democratic structures in the world can crumble in the face of mental pathology. Thus, as a result of the presidential psychiatric crisis not being dealt with, to the point where it has become a psychiatric emergency, we have exceptionally gathered here today. There has never been, in our lifetimes, in human history, the situation in which we find ourselves. Just a few hours ago, Donald Trump again vowed complete decimation of Iran. While he has so far pulled out of threats at last minute, there will come a time when, backed into a corner, he may not. What we need to realize is that in mental pathology, the extreme self-preservation at the expense of everyone else can also quickly turn into self-destructiveness, where he will not hesitate to take everyone else with him. Having exclusive command over nuclear weapons would also give him the means to carry out such a disordered temptation. Understandably, most people like to believe that all actions, particularly coming from a president, are rational. But the threats, reversals, and rhetorical exaggerations we have seen are unfortunately not likely to be strategy. They are more consistent with clear patterns of psychopathology, and when they threaten destruction of the nation, and now the world, we simply have to deal with them as a psychiatric emergency for our own safety. The alternative, in the case of error, carries unacceptable risks of life or death that no medical professional can lawfully ignore. Now, before presenting to you an emergency action I and some colleagues are going to pursue, I would like to open the floor for questions. Now, the emergency action I and I hope some colleagues of mine are going to take later today or tomorrow consists of contacting the 4 living former presidents. We are telling them they have an unprecedented obligation to protect our country by urging military officers not to obey orders that implicate war crimes or even a global Holocaust. Some of you have read my preliminary letter, but here is the latest version. To the 4 living former presidents of the United States, we are in an unprecedented emergency, one that demands extraordinary leadership. The 4 of you, especially if you act together, possess unparalleled experience and singular moral authority that no one can match. That authority carries a unique responsibility at this moment. There should be no remaining doubt. Donald Trump is exhibiting destructive, escalating, and world-endangering mental instability. This is no longer a psychological theory, but an imminent threat to our fundamental survival and to the safety of the entire globe. His own outrageous words and threats make this plain. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Issued on Easter Sunday morning. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. And a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Your collective responsibility could not be greater. If you act swiftly and boldly, your ability to protect our nation, if not humankind, can be unique. We urge you to stand together publicly, call on the nation to recognize the gravity of this moment, forcefully remind military leaders and public servants that their oath is to the Constitution, not any individual. Make clear that blatantly unlawful orders must never be carried out under any circumstances. This is a defining moment, not just for a presidency, but for the integrity of our country and future generations. We count on you. Respectfully yours.
I get choked up when I listen to her. Do you think she's exaggerating?
Nope.
No, not at all.
No.
No.
Jeez Louise.
I don't think people are taking this seriously enough. That's what I think.
I agree. And I don't know. Was there someone else like her in history that yelled from the top of the roof about Hitler and people just went, eh? I don't know. It scares the hell out of me when I hear her talk. These are professionals. And it's getting to that point. She does have a website, bandylee.com. Again, I'll put that in the description. I would, just look at her work. And again, she's been extremely vocal and out there lately because she is saying we are at the precipice. What are your thoughts?
We saw it years ago. I totally agree, especially when he said he was going to nuke like Iran. I was like, he's gone too far. And nobody's doing anything about it. That's the scary thing. He's obviously insane. And there's no checks and balances. Everybody does what he says. And I do agree that he can just one day wake up and be like, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, push that button. I've always been afraid of that long before it's been happening right now. He just has that type of personality and he doesn't listen to anybody. I mean, when you don't listen to the top people in your military, I've always felt he was very dangerous.
So,
And he's Jesus. He believes he's Jesus. So
Oh, yeah, we're going to
come
show a
on.
couple of those in a minute. If you don't think the guy's nuts, you have to look at this shit.
Well, wasn't the newest thing I saw, he's saying like, no, I thought I was a doctor, but what it was supposed to be was he was supposed to say AI and doctored the photo. And that's why he's going around saying, oh no, but I was supposed to be a doctor. It's like, oh my
It's
God.
an AI generated photo. It's not AI doctored photo. How
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah.
Keisha?
yeah. So what stood out to me was the use of the term psychopathy. We use the terms sociopathy and psychopathy interchangeably, but I just wanted to point out what the difference is between the two. And if you've taken the psychology class, this is not new to you, but psychopathy is particularly scary because we talk about like CEOs being sociopaths, and sometimes that actually helps them be successful. But psychopaths don't understand the difference between right and wrong. They don't feel empathy. They have a hard time with emotional regulation. They don't feel fear. They use people to get what they want.
Yep.
Like, that is scary.
Yes.
This is a person in charge of the country, and then this person might have dementia on top of it. Like, that is frightening. Psychopaths are scary. Like, psychopaths are like Ted Bundy. Like, I'm just gonna kill people and I don't feel any guilt about it.
Yeah.
And I have to mimic people to learn how to behave in society. Like, and people elected this person.
Right.
I know if we survive this, we need to make sure that all candidates and presidents continue to get a psych evaluation.
Yes.
Because they have so much power to be able to annihilate the world, the civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the Supreme Court should be kicked out of office. I think all the Supreme Court should go because they are sitting here and watching it. And Congress, but Supreme Court foremost, they're the ones that said he had unlimited power.
Is that all that?
Let's let Marie. Yeah.
Well, no, I keep on putting this across is that this administration is so bad. The people that are supposed to help the president out to understand the military, healthcare. We could go on, and a terrible vice president that we cannot allow to become a president. And I don't know in the past where we have not had successful, they haven't been perfect, but cabinets. We've had really strong people in our cabinets with presidents that needed that help. A president,
he purposefully put in the yes men, though.
Yeah. And a psychopath will not ask for help.
Yeah.
And they're incompetent, so they have no idea what their job should be.
Right.
Like, that's why they're there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why they're there. Guys, this is scary. And when she said that if he's backed into a corner and decides he's going to end it for himself, he's going to take everybody with him. And so we have to rely on our military to say, oh no, not on my watch. This is not happening. And what do you think? And I want our viewers to weigh in on this. What do you think about her address to our former presidents?
Yeah, I think at this point it would be, at this point it couldn't hurt, because we all know he'll find, crappy things to say about them. But I'm wondering if maybe that would be another thing that could wake up some of these people in their long sleep or mega bubble that they're in. Although apparently it just takes pictures of Jesus and the Pope and stuff to wake people up.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't enough, huh?
Yeah, let's put that up. If you guys don't think this man's crazy, I mean, really?
That is not a doctor from anywhere.
And then what the hell is this?
Oh God.
Oh God.
And
Poor
then
Jon
what the hell
Stewart.
is this.
Oh my gosh, yes, August. Poor Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That was a great episode.
Yeah,
You gotta watch it. I mean, this is nuts.
Yeah,
This
totally nuts.
is nuts. So I didn't mean to scare everybody, but I think people need to see and listen to what she and the other psychiatrists have to say, because they know the pathology, they recognize it, they predicted it. And yeah, early on, they did use the term sociopath. And then as things progressed and they re-diagnosed, she flat out said, no, psychopath.
Yep.
But we were scared a long time ago. That's how We the People Unite came about.
Right.
So
Yes,
Jazzy,
I'm just scared.
Go ahead,
so
August.
so Jazzy, I just want to jump in and answer your question in regards to how did want to know to prompt,
Yes,
this
that
prompt.
cracks me up.
Put it up.
Yeah.
I want to know what that prompted.
You know exactly what that prompt was, right?
Well, because of the strait on Sunday, he was going to blow Iran up, and he got so much flack on it. He had to come back with something more, jaw dropping.
But what did he type? What did he type in Chat GPT to get that image? Like, what did he say?
Oh no!
Please make me look like Dr. Jesus.
Trying to heal Jon Stewart.
I love that. Did I share with you guys the image of the costume for Halloween with Jesus depicted with Doctor? Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh my god! And then they have another one with a group like the Disciples, and it says Grey's Anatomy.
I've seen the Scrub.
Have you seen that one?
I've seen
Oh
the
my god,
Scrubs
people are
one.
so funny. Jazzy, me, Donald. Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, me, Donald Trump is Jesus, but also healing Jon Stewart with my magnificent hands and MAGA in the background. God bless them. Yeah, that's probably it. Put that in chat, Jazzy. See what you get.
That's way too many correct spellings, though. There'd probably be better spelling than numbers.
I'm sure someone created that for him and sent it to him. I don't
I thought that presidents and vice presidents don't have personal phones. Like I saw somewhere, I think it was Scott Evans was interviewing Kamala after everything, and she said they were talking about it, and she said like, "Oh, I was so happy to get my phone back, and I just did a bunch of emojis to everybody." So it's like, because it's
that's been the latest. He's violating the presidential. What is it? Communications.
Yep. He said he wasn't going to give up his phone, is what he said.
Yeah, they're not documenting
Yeah, he won't do it.
anything.
He won't do nothing.
And they're going against all of it.
And that's
they're not supposed to.
Look at this way. Everyone in his cabinet would never, ever pass a traditional top secret clearance. Not even the contractor
That's
side.
right.
And I went through that myself, and it's harsh.
Well, okay, so we have to keep our eye on this. Please keep an eye on Dr. Bandy, Lee, and the other psychiatrists. Listen to what she has to say. Let's see if we get a response from the presidents, because I will turn that into a short and put it out everywhere. If you guys can too, put it out everywhere, because people need to hear what she has to say.
Obama did saying he was crazy.
I'm so curious, like, do you even produce all of what is in that image? What do you mean, Jess?
Yeah.
Like, how do you get the AI agent to create that image?
A long ass prompt.
Yeah.
Just list it all out.
Just put it what you want, and you have to be descriptive, and because I've done some of that every now and then, even though my daughter hates me because she's an artist. But it's not too hard, but you just got to describe it, and it will show you.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do what's called resampling and just modify the prompt a little bit to kind of get more of what you want. But yeah, Check it out, Jazzy. Let's see what you get.
Yeah.
All right. We're over today, but of course, we have to go with August because she is on the move. And I know she has some great stuff for us today before we get to a funny from Andrea.
August.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. We're on the move. Could you imagine Palm Springs and you're coming home from work or school and only to find that your home has been burnt down? Section 14 happened in 1959. The reason why I wanted to bring it up, so much meat and materials happened during Black history. And what happens is we don't get a chance to really talk about it. So hopefully this will play for me. I'm going to bring it to the stage. Please let me know. Because I want you to be aware of what happened.
In this Black History Month, we are revisiting a dark moment from the past involving minority families living in Palm Springs. The battle over a piece of land forced residents from their homes in the 1950s and 60s. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Juarez talked to two women who survived it and are now fighting for reparations and justice.
Amongst the purple desert sand verbena and the creosote bushes are a few crumbling foundations of the homes that once stood there 6 decades ago.
It was a fun community as a kid.
It was a happy time. The 1 square mile of tribal land was known as Section 14, next door to downtown Palm Springs. For Pearl Devers and Jovita Ayala, who grew up there in the 1960s, it was their childhood home.
This is the only place who welcomed the minorities to this city. We could not live anywhere else.
The land was owned by the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians, but controlled by the federal government. Short leases attracted the families of color who were allowed to build their community on the land. But that all changed in 1959 when the federal government changed the law, allowing the land to be leased up to 99 years.
The city took control over this area and burned and bulldozed us out without sufficient, proper, and in many cases, no notices at all. People literally went to school and work and came home to find their home and possessions gone.
The land had become lucrative to the city who wanted to develop it. So began a decade-long process from the 1950s through the 1960s of removing the families there along with the homes.
They would knock on doors or put eviction notice, and have them move out. And then, of course, they would light the house on fire and bulldoze it.
An investigation by the Attorney General back then called what happened a city-engineered Holocaust. Deaver says the loss of the home her father built broke his spirit.
Succumbed to alcoholism, never recovered, and died a broken-hearted man.
Devers and others formed the Palm Springs Section 14 Survivors Group to seek justice and reparations for the past wrongs through a claim against the city. In 2021, the city of Palm Springs apologized for its role in the destruction of Section 14, even removing a statue of Mayor Frank Bogart, who led the removal effort. The group telling us those were good first steps.
The apology is great, but there needs to be some restitution made for the Section 14 survivors and descendants, There needs to be a reckoning. There needs to be a healing.
In a statement to Eyewitness News, the city of Palm Springs said the city council is committed to and actively moving forward on developing achievable, lasting, programmatic efforts and initiatives that will make an impact on the lives of those who lived and lost their homes in Section 14 during the 1950s and 60s. While the past cannot be erased, for Devers, it's about the city's redemption.
This is my soil. I love this city, but I want to see the ugly stain of what happened here on Section 14 put behind us and the city of Palm Springs.
Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
So think about it, guys. Think about it. You come home.
Yeah, go ahead.
You come home and there's nothing there. It's so much injustice that continues to go on. And don't think it cannot happen now. Be careful. Know your rights. Know the law. pay attention, wake up and vote, because they're trying to do it again. Back over to you, Kim.
Well, it reminds me when I was listening to that of Seneca Village before Central Park. And this was in the 19th century. You can look it up. Prominent, more well-to-do Black neighborhoods were
I'm
completely
well aware
taken
of it.
over. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it reminds me of the same thing. It's just horrible. Horrible.
Sorry,
what
Lori, to break your
what
heart.
we do.
But we have to talk about these things because so many people don't know the history of various places. The reason why I chose Palm Springs, they wipe those people out so they can put a spa and put the new buildings up and hotels and everything for the stars, the celebrities. So that's how Palm Springs came about, you know? It's heartbreaking. It really heartbreaking. And when you think your city don't have dirt, just dig it up.
I'm sorry, but that got me. It really did. There's no need for that anywhere.
No.
Yeah,
We're
and what
all
gets
human beings.
to me is that there are stories like this throughout history all across this country, and Black people will be told time and time again, gaslit, like, why are y'all complaining? You have equality. You have just as much of an equal chance of getting ahead as we do. You don't need reparations. You're always whining. And it's like, really? Like, there's so many instances of when we had property or we tried to get ahead or we had wealth and it was just ripped out from underneath us. And
Tulsa.
yeah.
There were times we had whole prosperous communities, doctors, lawyers, dentists, all in one community. You know what I'm thinking about? Black Wall Street, burned to the ground. Burned.
Hey, I'm thinking about South Florida.
Yeah, it happens time
Burned
and
to the
time
ground.
again. Time and time again, it happens.
DEI.
So let's do a palate cleanse. Thank you, August, for that. The educational pieces are always so powerful, and we appreciate them. So Miss Andrea gave us a little funny to lead with, or I don't know. It's an interesting Iran video, and they've been putting out some whoppers lately.
They're pretty good.
You ran to China, you begged on your knees.
Please be my friend.
Please, China, please. You called Moscow, you cried on the phone. Please mediate for me. I'm all alone. But here's the news you don't want to hear. The Strait is moving. Ships are here. China passes, Japan passes, India too. Fake peace. Fake peace. Not for you.
Fake peace, fake peace.
No release. Open for the world, but for you, no Greece. Iran said, everyone's welcome. Come trade, come through. But you and Israel, sorry, not for you.
Fake peace, fake peace.
10 days and gone. You cry to everyone from dusk to dawn. The Strait is open for the human race. Fake peace. Go cry in your place. You stabbed them twice while they sat at the table. You talked about peace, but your aim was unstable. You sent the bums with your little friends' help. Now you want to pass. Go box somewhere else. The Strait is open for China, for Japan, for France, for every ship that wants to dance. But when you come with your golden crown, fake peace. Fake peace. Sit down. Open for the world, open for trade, open for everyone. That's how it's played. China ships, Japan ships, India's fleet. The whole world moves. You taste defeat.
Fake peace, fake peace.
Hear that sound? That's your empire flushing down. You beg for mediation, you beg for a deal, but the Strait says no, and that's real.
Fake peace, fake peace.
No release. Open for the world, but for you, no Greece. Iran said, everyone's welcome, come trade, come through, but you and Israel, sorry, not for you.
Fake peace, fake peace.
10 days and gone. You cry to everyone from dusk to dawn. The Strait is open for the human race.
Fake peace.
Go Go cry in your place. You went to She, you went to the Saud, you went to Turkey, you begged so hard. You went to Qatar, you went to Oman, everyone said sorry, done, not in the plan. I ran, didn't move, I ran, didn't blink, I ran, sat calm while you cried in the sink. Your 10-day peace died on day one. Fake peace. Fake peace. Now what have you done?
Fake peace.
The world is moving, Donald. China ships, Japan ships, India ships. Everyone's passing through the strait. Everyone except you and your little friend. That's not fake, that's real.
Fake peace.
Fake release. Never.
Thank you, Andrea. Another good one. They are creative.
Wow.
Wow, that was powerful. They speak to him in the language only the language he understands, right?
I
mean, that was jamming. That beat
I
was
know,
hard.
right?
That was a good one. Yeah.
That had a good beat.
Mo and I were like,
I love it. All right, everybody, we are way over time. Yeah, great conversations today. Thank you so much. Important. Keep our eyes open. Keep voicing our concerns, and we just keep going another day. We will see you back here on Friday for our roundtable. We're kind of over, so I'm going to bypass the one final word. So we will see y'all Friday. Love everybody. We'll see you then.
Bye.
We the people unite.